with us. Now, during this pandemic that we've been in lockdown for, right? Everybody's been saying that, they put on so much weight and they want to know how to deal with all this additional weight. People have also been showing concerns that Christmas time is coming around again. And we love to eat things for Christmas. So this morning, we're going to chat about chronic diseases and how you can do your part to get some help or to help yourself. And I want to welcome dietitian, nutritionist, and chronic disease specialist, Didi. She's joining us this morning via Zoom. Good morning, Didi.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. So tell me about, let's talk firstly about, the challenges that people have been facing inside this lockdown where a lot of us have put on weight just by being home, just by not being able to exercise, just by we just eating and doing nothing else.
And definitely, because you see, food is like right there. And the kitchen is just a few footsteps away usually. Snack cupboards are full. So a lot of the times, because we are home, it's very difficult to manage. And honestly, chronic diseases and lifestyle diseases just purely come from mismanagement of meals, not understanding how to balance your plate properly, and just having excessive cravings because of that.
Right.
So it's all going to be focused on, overcoming any health issues or health concerns that really comes with weight gain. Because during this time, during lockdown, and you're doing sedentary things like you're seated all the time, it's going to lead to less movement, which then in turn leads to more body fat and more body fat around the organs, which then leads to like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease. All of these things are lifestyle created.
Yeah. So before we get to that stage, tell me how we managing the plate. Tell me about management of the plate, especially as we enter this fantastic season where everybody loves to eat so much for Christmas. Tell me, how do we balance the plate to make sure that we have the things that we need and not overdo?
Sure, definitely. And I think one of the main issues is persons think restrictive and think limited, and that's when you feel like you have to eat everything in sight, right? Because if you think that, Christmas is the only time I get to eat these things, and I'm gonna go, within 2022, the first week, January, I'm gonna do some diets or gimmicks or something like that, and I'm going to be limited. So let me eat all that I can eat, and I could possibly stuff my stomach with this Christmas, and that is where the issues lie. So it's more about understanding that you don't have to eat restrictive, you don't have to think restrictive, and in terms of managing your meal and your plate, you want to make sure you include a variety of foods. It's not just going to be about meat, or carbs. You want to make sure that on your plate you have a variety of colors, and that's just the easiest way to make sure that you include a variety of nutrients that will nourish you effectively. So you can have your carbs, you can have your protein. So for example, if you do Christmas rice, and if you want to do your turkey, and then you have your favorite veggies on the side, and that will be a perfectly balanced plate.
All right. So we're talking carbs, we're talking meat, and we're talking veggies. That's a fair enough balance, right? All right. Yeah. So tell me what. You mentioned before some of the chronic diseases that we can develop, if we're not taking care of our nutrition properly. What exactly is a chronic disease?
Right. So the basics of chronic disease is just created because of poor nutrition. And usually, you see, it all develops from babies and nourishment during childhood and understanding. Like, you're just given certain things, and then your eating habits are developed based on that and based on what you're given from development in your mom's womb to birth and to growing up during your childhood, because you are in no control and you're just given certain things. And if it's just a lack of awareness to know of how to manage a healthy lifestyle from birth, growing up, and then when you develop those unhealthy habits from childhood, it develops into an unhealthy routine, and lacking balance with your meals then creates excessive body fat, and then over time that's what leads to diabetes, where your blood sugar levels are elevated severely, and that leads to, again, foot amputations, kidney complications, eye problems. It leads to high cholesterol levels, which then lead to heart problems, and also of course, being severely overweight or obese. And these things are all, again, lifestyle. It's all about your habits. It's all about how well and how effectively you nourish your body. So it can 100% be overcome with the right guidance.
Now, Didi, one of the things you mentioned there, you mentioned heart disease, and I know that comes from high cholesterol levels, like you said. Sometimes, it doesn't always show. Like, we don't always see people who are obese or overweight having these heart problems or heart disease. How do you determine, if I have a challenge with cholesterol, even if I'm not showing excessive body weight?
Yeah, I mean, 100% true. And usually what I do with clients is I always recommend that they do their lab test, because you have to be able to check your sugars in your blood and see if it's elevated, if it's normal, what your values are. Check your cholesterol. There's a total breakdown, because there's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. And you want to make sure that the good cholesterol is higher than the bad. And all about taking preventative measures by taking necessary precautions and being aware of family-related history, because what you surround yourself with is typically what you're exposed to. So if you do have a family history of diabetes where your mom or your dad developed it over time, then you are most likely to develop it over time as well, because your eating habits and your lifestyle and your routines are going to be very, very similar.
Yeah.
So it's more about taking those precautions by checking your bloods and making sure that you take that, because usually you don't get signs and symptoms. You don't.
Very interesting. You also run a consultancy. I believe it's online consultancy you're doing right now. Well, obviously because of the pandemic.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, the consultancy was born in 2019, and then I transitioned to online, which I think is so much more convenient. It's flexible, it's easy, and I get to help persons around the world. So it's really the best platform, and I think a lot of businesses transition online because of COVID. But yeah, I love it.
Well, tell me how it works for somebody who comes to seek consultancy. Do we have to tell you what we eat, or how does that consultancy work?
Yeah, so I usually have a consult first to discuss your goals, dive deeper into exactly what you want to achieve, and see exactly what's suitable, because I have so many different things. I have healthy snacks that you can start off with. If you're not ready to join a program, you want to nourish your body effectively, and you can definitely start off with what you eat, because that's the basics of life. If you don't eat, you don't survive. If you eat poorly, it will lead to chronic diseases, right? So I have nutritious and delicious treats. And then I also have my master classes. So they are basically group short classes to educate you on certain topics like meal management. And then I have my programs. So my programs are specific to help those with their weight. So usually I do 12 to 24 pounds of sustainable body fat loss over 3 months. And usually it's not just like a short program. Like, with fasting or gimmicks, it leads to weight gain after, like a yo-yo effect of weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain. So what I do is I focus on sustainability. What can you do? And usually with the programs, it's all lifestyle created and helping you to understand how to balance your meals, balance your plates, and work something that is personalized and suitable for you. Because nothing works for everyone. We are all different. We all have different likes, dislikes, preferences. So usually I create something that's suitable for that person that I'm dealing with, and then help you with your specific goals moving forward with lifestyle changes.
Nice. All right. So you mentioned one of the things that you slipped in there just now was healthy snacks. I know personally, like when I finish a meal, in between meals, you want to have a little snack or two. Are there snacks that we can have that would not hamper your nutrition?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that it is a huge misconception that snacks are unhealthy, because they really aren't. It's just that I think it's all about our thoughts, and it's all about thinking that something is unhealthy and thinking that you can't have it, that makes you feel like eating more than the recommended serving. And that's when it leads to unhealthy body fat gain. So some of my treats are like my granola bars, my famous date Snickers. Everyone loves the date Snickers. energy bites. I do have like date brownies, and it's all oat based, honey based, no added sugar, no ingredients, no chemicals, no additives. Because when I was doing short courses on ultra processed foods, it's really amazing how much weird ingredients are in the things that you eat. But again, what I do is not restrictive, right? So you can include the things that you love, but it's just about rearranging it in a safe way. For example, if you like potato chips, you want to make sure that you have complemented with something nutritious, like a fruit, whatever your favorite fruit is. If you like an apple or banana or watermelon or pineapple, whatever your favorite fruit is. Fruit, unhealthy. Healthy, unhealthy.
So it boils down to balance at the end of the day, yeah?
Correct.
All right. Well, guys, if you're interested, you can check her out at Didi's nutritionconsultancy.com and get as much information as possible. Didi, what is your social media handles?
It's Didi the Trinidadian. That's what I first started off with, and I just kept it.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing some of your knowledge. If you guys are interested, head across to the website, head across to our social media and get more info.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Take care, Didi. And with that one,